level are you? It is Thursday. It is 7 o'clock. It is time for Content and Cocktails. This is my weekly deep dive into all things video making and video marketing. This week's a bit of a special one, as this is I am currently in the middle of my challenge week. Go live to thrive. So this is sort of doubling up as a bit of a recap of what we've done today for all the people who are in the challenge. Plus, it will be the kind of weekly roundup of all things contenty and cocktaily. But yeah, I've got some interesting news to share with you. Hello, Facebook user. I don't know who that is. But I will just double check that we've got everything going, because last week LinkedIn had a bit of a sort of a fit. It says, wait, event will start soon, waiting for host to start. It's doing it again. Trying to get the live content to work on LinkedIn. It is not happy, but I don't know why it would be doing that. So we are going to have to just accept that perhaps the LinkedIn gods are not smiling on us this evening. So hey ho, we will see. the joys of talent. Honestly, who'd go live? So this is Content and Cocktails, and if you are new to it, which you may well be, the format is very simple. I sit down once a week and talk about something video related whilst working through the cocktails slowly but surely in this cocktail book. Now, we've talked about the importance of having hooks and stories, and this has been the sort of the hook and the story for this live. And this was my grandfather's cocktail book, and you can see when you open it up, it says Neil Coxon, Madras, 1945. So it's actually a war standard issue. If you can believe it, it's a war standard issue cocktail book, and you can see it sort of says, over here, book production war economy standard. So 100 cocktails and how to mix them by Bernard, Falsham's cloth-bound pocket library. So there's a number of things to unpack here with this. One, it's the very fact that, obviously 1945, we're still, this is like, pre-VJ day, just when this was published. It was clearly an important enough document to be printed, obviously war economy standard. So, beating fascism, one very strong martini at a time, and that's what it was about. So we will be having a cocktail from this kind of fine and venerable publication. Now, I'm just going to double check where people are. Where I am on the lives, then we'll get into the cocktail, because I've got a little bit of news as far as this whole sort of thing goes. Karen, it's lovely to see. It's Karen. I can see Karen saying hello. So this is actually going to be. I've been doing Content and Cocktails now for since sort of middle of 2019. So it's been a long time that I've been doing this, and as I've been running the challenge week, which is all about live video for those of you who aren't involved in it, I've been giving some serious thought and consideration to my live video content. So this has been my primary kind of way of going live. Content and Cocktails has been the sort of the linchpin of my sort of weekly live content. But if I'm honest, it's got a bit stale, I think. So this is going to be the penultimate Content and Cocktails. So next week, during the launch week, so obviously we're launching the Video Academy course next week, and it's a Video Academy course is going to have a little bit of a difference this time around. I think it's going to be something that should appeal to quite a lot of people, because it's a much more focused on kind of actionability rather than me attempting to push the entire contents of my 20 years of video making and marketing experience into your heads. But this week and next week, it's a double bill, the final season, the sort of series finale, as it were. We've been working through this book, and we have actually had every single, over the years, we've had every single cocktail, all bar one. And that cocktail is called, appropriately, it's the last cocktail in the book, in the hundreds of, there's a bit of the section which is all sort of non-alcoholic cocktails, so I don't really count those because they're all sort of just a bit weird fruit cocktails. But the last cocktail in the book is called the 0 Hour cocktail, and that is the one we will be having next week. I must say, it's not a great sounding cocktail, but we will be having that next week as our final farewell drink. So we have something to look forward to. But this week we are going to, actually, I thought I'd start with a favorite of mine from here for this week, because I'll be honest, the 0 Hour cocktail does not sound great, and when you tune in next week, you'll certainly understand why. But the Devil's Cocktail, as it's called, is one of my favorites. It says, and here we are. Here's what Bernard has to say on the matter of the Devil's Cocktail. I'll just double check that we're not missing anybody's comments. Bear with me a second. Yeah, so the Devil's Cocktail is as follows. Quarter measure of peppermint. So we've got the Schweppes peppermint cordial. A full measure of brandy, and you shake it over broken ice, and it tastes like, it's a sort of delicious kind of buttery, pepperminty. It's a cocktail that tastes like a sort of strong slap in the face version of a mint humbug. I really like it. It's quite a nice sort of refreshing drink. So I very much like the Devil's Cocktail. It says half fill the shaker with broken ice and add the peppermint. Then add the brandy. Shake up and pass through a strainer into a cocktail glass. And then it says, this cocktail is quite strong, not for beginners. So I'm glad to say I'm not a beginner. So I think we can take this one as kind of something that I can manage. So we will have cocktail shaker. So we'll go for the glass shaker. We've got some ice. Put the ice in there. I haven't got my second camera up. I should have put that up for us tonight. So we'll have a measure of brandy. It's fine. It's nothing special brandy wise. I mean, I've tried it with more sort of luxurious brandies, and it's not noticeably made a huge difference to the whole experience. So there we go. That's the brandy, and I'll move that over there. So the cocktail this evening is the Devil's Cocktail, which is very nice. The task today. So in the challenge, we've had a task which, well, actually, I'll recap. You know what? I'll recap the Oh, we've sprung a leak. This little jigger has kind of sprung a bit of a leak. That's interesting. I need to repair that. Yeah, so to sort of give you a roundup of what we've been doing this week might be helpful. But So let that strain off, and then we'll just it is quite strong and not for beginners. Cheers. I do like it. It's very nice. Okay, so this is the sort of the rundown for this week. What have we been up to? On the first day, we looked at the whole idea of kind of let's put, there we go. We'll put we looked at the whole idea of the notion of mindset when it comes to live video. We've had some great discussions about mindset and how important that is in terms of getting visible, because a lot of us, you know, we hold ourselves back from being visible with video because of lots of different reasons, lots of things we tell ourselves, lots of things we kind of will sort of have going on in our heads that hold us back from using video as a kind of as a tool. I just want to see, because how are we doing? Can people see me? I'm feeling like there's a little bit of a I think Karen's, yeah. I'm not convinced we are. Bear with me a second. I don't know why it is not. Manage. Don't know why it's still being a bit weird. But I don't know why it's doing that. So yeah, we talked about mindset on the first day. Second day, we talked about formatting. So what I mean by formatting is that repeatable structure. So that was the part of the discussion that got me thinking about this whole thing, the kind of content and cocktails format. And I think I sort of came away from it thinking, I've had this sort of feeling that I was not really kind of enjoying the evening lives quite as much as I once used to. And I think part of that is that actually the real sort of heyday of this was 2020, 2021. Obviously, you know, what was going on then, we had lockdowns and all that kind of stuff. And we were all much more, I think, in a kind of party at home sort of mode. And this whole content and cocktails thing was kind of appropriate to the time. And I think the sort of public mood, the online mood has shifted somewhat. And it all feels a bit more, I don't know, not serious, but perhaps kind of the tone of the online space is a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for here? A little bit more nuanced, and perhaps, you know, having me turn up and be jolly and shake a cocktail and have some fun. So what we're going to do is, as a result of me thinking about the formatting, actually we'll get onto this in a second, because I don't want to get ahead of myself. So we did the formatting, and then day 3 I shared my structure for planning out individual lives. So I've had some really great comments. People found that task really useful. It very often is the point in the challenge week where people go, oh wow, yeah, I see how it all fits together now. And then today we took a bit of time to look at the space in which you go live and the kit that you've got. And it's really, for me, the purpose of that is just to remind people, actually, you don't need a fancy setup at first. You know, you can work towards that, but use it as a you know, use the tools you've got and make money for your business with the tools you've got. So yeah, we're gonna. Oh,